Welcome to Read Ancient Languages. I'm Dr. Fausto Labruto. Today we travel to Egypt, where this inscription was written on a tomb in the 7th century. The discipline which studies inscriptions on walls and monuments can give us lots of information on the customs of the age. This particular one will introduce us to the chronology system of the Byzantine Empire. This epigraph is written in Coptic, a language which derives from ancient Egyptian and is written in an alphabet similar to ancient Greek alphabet. There are many dialects of Coptic. This particular epigraph is written in Sahidic Coptic, the dialect most used in religious writings of early and high Middle Ages. So there are many interesting aspects about this inscription. The first thing we notice is that the words are written without spaces in between, a writing style called scriptio continua, which was normal for Coptic and ancient Greek. Then we notice that there are some mistakes in writing. This is an example of a letter, the letter hori, which is written wrong. It is written front side back. You can see here the same letter written correctly. Then there are letters which were forgotten and were added later. You can see an example here and another example here. There is also an example of a misspelling here. The word passions should be spelled with just one O. Also, the diacritic markings such as the supralinear stroke, which are essential components of the Coptic language, are either missing altogether or barely visible, like here. They may have been added by a later hand. So here we can see the whole text transliterated with the spaces between the words, the missing diacritical markings added, and then the mistakes corrected. The text translated into English reads, O God of Saint Ascla and of Saint Apollonius and of Saint Philemon, have mercy of the soul of blessed Basile, your servant, who died on the 7th of the month of Passions at the beginning of the 14th indiction. Actually, the original text does not read died. The Coptic verb mton is used. So the whole word entafemtonemoth, which you see written here, literally means put himself to rest. An interesting feature of the inscription is that which appears to be a word here, but is actually a number. In the ancient world, and up until well into the Middle Ages, numbers as we know them today did not exist yet. You may be familiar with the Roman numerals which were used in Latin texts, while texts in ancient Greek or Coptic used a system of letters. Here we have the letter iota and the letter delta with a stroke on top, which signified the number 14. So the date of the death of the blessed Basile is placed on the 7th day of the month Passions, which was the 9th month of the Coptic calendar, at that time corresponding to the end of April, beginning of May, at the beginning of the 14th indiction. The indictions were a chronological system current in Egypt at the time. An indiction was any of the years in a 15-year cycle used by authorities to reassess the tax system. So the 14th indiction is the 14th year in this 15 years cycle. So this funerary inscription in Coptic is a prayer to God to have mercy of the soul of the deceased, who is called Basile, and the inscription gives an interesting insight on how time was counted in the early Middle Age Egypt, at the time of the Byzantine Empire. Today, this inscription can be admired at the Brooklyn Museum in New York, USA. Thank you for listening to Read Ancient Languages. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook or Instagram for updates.